Number 5, I got Darren Waller, tight end of the Las Vegas Raiders, and now the New York Giants. He is going to be missed out there in Las Vegas, regardless of injuries, regardless of what happened out there. He was still impactful for his position. Obviously there was a Derek Carr there, so Jimmy G could have definitely loved to use him, but they did draft a replacement in Mayer, so he's got some upside, man, and I think he's going to do some great things. So let's just say that there's a win-win situation. I think for Daniel Jones, he just gained another weapon um, in already kind of a weird receiving core of players that are not really proven. So New York's going to need what they need, and they need Darren Waller. I feel like in this case, when he's healthy, he is one of the best tight ends in the league. He's not number 5. He's definitely higher up there, but Darren Waller, number 5, as a New York Giant now, 30 years old, 6 years in the league. 4 years, $51.87 million. He has a chance to have a 2024 out and have 7.868 million in dead cap for the team. So they could risk that. He had 9 games played, 6 he started, 28 receptions for 388 yards, 13.9 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns, 43.1 yards a game, 0 fumbles. No playoffs, no nothing like that, no Pro Bowls, but he is a Pro Bowler. He is an All Pro. He is a guy that can get you 80 receptions. And injuries definitely derailed his stat line this past year. Looking into this year, I think he's going to do great things. I think he's going to go back to the same Darren Waller that we know, and he's going to be very impactful for a Daniel Jones. So overall, I enjoy watching Darren Waller, a big body receiver that can catch like a receiver and also block like a tight end. He's special, man. He's number 5 to me. He's still relevant. He's still got his thing. Number 4, we got T.J. Hockenson, the Minnesota Vikings tight end, who they got from the trading from Detroit. Uh, this is a deal that Minnesota loves to have, right? And this is a team that they're gonna use him, right? Obviously, Kirk Cousins have Justin Jefferson, Osborne, Madison, and they have T.J. Hockenson, who's like I said, one of the best pass catching tight ends in the league, man. Along with Travis Kelce's and the George Kittles, but T.J. Hockenson, he is right there, man. On terms of being one of the best tight ends in the league, his impact is crazy great, and I mean, it's a shame Detroit traded him. I don't know why they did. I understand they were trying to rebuild, but can you imagine him right now in Detroit, especially when they beat the Chiefs this past Thursday, man? I think this team has a lot of potential to do a lot of great things, and they could have just had another weapon out there in T.J. Hockenson, man. So I think they're going to miss him a lot. I think Detroit's going to definitely regret this trade. But T.J. Hockenson, 26 years old, 4 years in the league, 5 years, $75.39 million on this contract for the Minnesota Vikings. He has a 2026 potential out with a 7.2 million dead cap. 17 games he played and 14 started with Detroit and Minnesota. 86 receptions for 914 yards. That is insanely insane for a tight end. 10.6 yards per reception, 6 touchdowns, 53.8 yards a game, and 1 fumble. In the playoffs with the Vikings against the Giants, which they lost, he still had a great game. 10 receptions, 129 yards, 12.9 yards per reception, and he's a Pro Bowler. Again, when you need him, when you want to find him, he's there. It's like Tony Gonzalez. Whenever you needed him, he can get 10 reception kind of games. This is what T.J. Hockenson's impact is he can get double-digit receptions and 100-plus yards, man. And it's just feeding him the ball. You got to feed him the ball, and he is that impact player that everyone wants on their team and everyone wants to watch. He's a fantastic player to watch. He's young, and he's got a lot to still improve on in terms of getting better. But he's excelling, and I want to see him do great things. I don't know if Minnesota will be his last outing, his last team he'll play for, but they gained an all-pro tight end, and he's going to be that. It's just unfortunate that he has to deal with Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and George Kittle in the same class of his position. But this guy is an all-pro potential, and he is dynamite. So overall, watch out for him this year. He's going to do great things this year. Number 3, I got Mark Andrews, Baltimore Ravens. As a Baltimore Raven fan, he's one of my favorite players of all time, actually. One of my very best. They always are tight end university out there. They always got some great tight ends. Mark Andrews is just probably the best tight end Baltimore has ever had, besides Shannon Sharp. But long term wise, Shannon Sharp didn't play as long as Mark Andrews had for this club. So Mark Andrews is the offense. When Lamar needs it, which he's a great runner, he needs to be better at not holding the ball so long. He also needs to be a better defensive reader. But when in doubt, and he really needs to throw it to someone, it's Mark Andrews, man. Mark Andrews is the go-to guy. He is a great receiving tight end. He's also a great blocker in general. He's got all the total package, man. He's top three definitely. The two that are ahead of him, it's reasonable why. I mean, they just are ahead of the game there, but Mark Andrews has a lot of time, so I think he could be the best tight end in the league, man, especially if he continues to do what he does. I do believe that he will still have some great numbers this year, even though Baltimore tried to add, guys like OBJ, Zay Flowers. Will Zay Flowers, do things like will his hype actually be real? Will he actually be a great receiver for them, a game changer? Will OBJ become OBJ of old? Will Rashad Bateman actually play to his first round potential? Well, we're going to see everything, right? It's a question for my team on the offensive side, and that's understandable. They need to prove it. But Mark Andrews is that leader, man, and he's what you need on this team, and this is why he's top three. 27 years old, 5 years in the league, 3 years, $29.75 million left in his deal. Has a potential out in 2024, 11.81 million in dead cap. 15 games played and started, 73 receptions for 847 yards, 11.6 yards per reception, 5 touchdowns, 56.5 yards a game, 1 fumble. In the playoffs, lost to the Bengals in the wild card, 5 receptions for 73 yards, 14.6 yards per reception. That's about all he did. Again, they tried. They didn't have Lamar. They had Anthony Brown, so they didn't really get much. He was a Pro Bowler. He's going to be a Pro Bowler for a long time. He's going to be a continuous program Pro Bowler for a long time as well. And Mark Andrews just has that it factor, man. He is a Baltimore Raven. He's an AFC North tight end, man. He's tough, and he's ready to go, man. I mean, it's great seeing players like him and Pat Fryermuth and those kinds of guys, man. Njoku in the AFC North, man, that are showing some tough tight ends out there in that division, which is one of the best divisions and one of the toughest divisions. Every divisional game is always a low-scoring game, so no one pays attention to that. But the AFC North, quietly, it's great rivalries, man. But Mark Andrews, top three for sure, will be number one if he continues the way he's going. I definitely have faith that he will continue to produce, continue to be a very important role in this team. If they want to go anywhere, it's through Mark Andrews, definitely. Number two, San Francisco 49ers, George Kittle. Not only has he has a great personality, funny dude, man, ecstatic to play the game, loves the game, very impactful player for San Fran. When he's not out there, it's a problem. I mean, they definitely lose that edge. They lose that competitive nature as much as they have weapons out there and great offensive players out there with Ayuk, with Debo, with Christian McCaffrey. So there's guys out there, but there's no George Kittle. George Kittle is his own unique person. I do believe that George Kittle has the ability, with the ability that he's been able to play for a long time. He can be a Hall of Famer. I really do believe that. He's been a successful tight end for so long, man. I mean, he's been up and down from 1 to 2. In my opinion, he's like a 1A or 1B, whatever you want to call it. But he's right there, man, with Travis Kelce, who's number one. Hate to spoil that, but we all know what's going to happen there. George Kittle, though, is just that guy, dude. He's been that guy for so long, and he continues to be that guy. Injuries derail him, but he still comes back stronger than ever. He's the strongest tight end, honestly, man. He will be moving people just to get like a few extra yards, man. So he loves winning. He loves football. He's 29 years old, 6 years in the league, 3 years, $41.25 million left in his deal. He has a 2024 out for 18.3 million in dead cap. 15 games played and started, 60 receptions for 765 yards, 12.8 yards per reception, 11 touchdowns, 51 yards a game with one fumble. In the playoffs, lost the NFC Championship to the Eagles. They played 3 games, 10 receptions, 164 yards, 16.4 yards per reception with 54.7 yards a game. He's an All-Pro, second team, and a Pro Bowler. Again, future Hall of Famer. Could happen. And impactful player, most definitely. They're going to need Travis Kelce if they want to win a Super Bowl. And they're going to need to make sure that they have a healthy squad, especially Brock Purdy. We'll see what happens with what he does this year. Is this just a one-year wonder, or is he actually the real deal? So, overall, though, I believe in this team. I think it's going to be a great team to watch, and watch out for George Kittle, man. He's going to have a great year this year. A lot more than 60 receptions, I'll tell you that. Last but not least, man, let's take a look at a Travis Kelce, dude. He is, for a long time, it was Gronk. He is the best tight end of all time. He's the best tight end ever put on the cleats, my guy. And there's no denying it. Just his offensive stats alone are incredible. He is the best Chiefs tight end in NFL history. He definitely beats Tony Gonzalez by a mile. It helps that he's in a passing era where it's all about the pass, and also he has a guy named Patrick Mahomes who is looking like the next Tom Brady. So overall, I mean, Travis Kelce, man, is elite. Is elite route runner for a tight end. Makes it look effortless, and grabs like 10 to 12 receptions a game, and it makes it look so beautiful, man. Grab a red runner. He's actually pretty fast for a tight end. Um, I know he doesn't block as much because they need him to catch the ball, but he's valuable when it comes to the block. He's an all-around tight end. He's a great tight end, man. I do believe in his toughness. I do believe in his ability, and I mean, Kansas City would not have 2 Super Bowls without having a Travis Kelce in there. Um, Definitely not. I mean, they can have all the receivers they can have. There's not even that many weapons that they had this past year. I mean, Jared McKinnon was nice, but is he like an All-Pro? Is he a top 10 running back? No. Juju Smith-Schuster, is he a top 10 wide receiver? No. No. Kadarius Toney? No. Definitely not. Right? So they needed some guy. They needed an X factor. They needed someone to take over in games. Travis Kelce takes over games as a tight end like he's a receiver. And Patrick Mahomes knows when in doubt, you give it to Travis, and it's amazing. It's actually pretty much what you've seen this past game against Detroit. They didn't have him, and they lost. So you see the impact of when he's out there. They win games, man. They're dangerous. It's just another level of their offense. And without a Travis Kelce, they don't really do much. And it's nothing against any of these other players that are there, but Travis Kelce's the guy, man. He's the Hall of Fame tight end. He's the best tight end of all time, and like I said, the train goes where Travis Kelce wants to lead them to, and how healthy he is. So I hope he's back soon. He needs to be back for week 2. It's not like they had a terrible performance, but you can see Travis Kelce's the guy. He's the man. So Travis Kelce, we have so much to talk about this guy. 33 years old, 10 years in the league, 3 years, $42.5 million left in his deal. 17 games played and started, 110 receptions for a tight end, insane. 1,238 receiving yards for a tight end, insane. 12.2 yards per reception, 12 touchdowns, 78.7 yards a game, 1 fumble. Playoffs, won a Super Bowl. In the 3 games, he had 27 receptions for 257 yards, 9.5 yards per reception, 4 touchdowns, 85.7 yards a game with 1 fumble. His accolades, well, he was 6th in Offensive Player of the Year. Should be, definitely, maybe even higher. First team All-Pro. That's not a question. Pro Bowler and Super Bowl champion. So, he won a Super Bowl, won another one. It's the second one. And there's not much else I can really say, man, more than Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end I have witnessed in my life. And that's with witnessing Rob Gronkowski. So, overall, great career for him. I can't wait to see what he does this year. He's an exciting player. He's confident, and you like confident players, and he's gonna go do what he do, and he needs to be healthy in order for Kansas City to repeat as champions and to even get to that place where they want to be this year. He needs to be healthy, and he needs to do what he continues to be doing, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will. But of course, Father Time is definitely reaching its level, and at 33 years old, I hope that they can find a decent replacement for him and try to get someone to learn under him because they will not be winning that much, I believe, when he retires. That'll be a transition for Pat and for the Chiefs, man. But um, for now, he's on the team, and I know he wants to win another Super Bowl really bad, and can't count him out, especially with Travis Kelce. You can never count this team out.